Okay, hello. Good evening, everyone. Hi, Natalie. Long time no see. Well, I haven't seen you in a few weeks, right? Okay. Yes, Kushan, hello. And Sok Jin, is this the first time of you coming to my class? All right, hang on. Let me adjust my camera a while. All right. So anyway, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our June week 1. All right. So I know it's a holiday, but our class is still as usual. All right. So anyway, I don't know if you're from other tutor lah. I don't know where's the progress, but I'm currently here. Okay, which we are going to learn something called alcohol today. All right. So wow, it feels like a while I haven't seen you all. I don't know why. All right. So I hope your holiday is doing well lah. Okay, so we are going to learn something new today. All right, let's go to page 6. We are in chapter 5, I think. Yeah, chapter 5. All right, so it will be quite a short lesson today. There's not much to learn because this one you already know, and this is quite important in exam. All right, so this alcohol part, it's almost every year SPM you will see this thing. All right, so just pay attention because this is quite important in exam. All right, anyway, so let's look at alcohol. I'm sure you already know it's alcohol lah. Before that, last week we did learn 2 groups. All right, that's your alkene and your alkane. So what are they? They are called hydrocarbon. What is a hydrocarbon? That means if something is only made from hydrogen and carbon, it's called hydrocarbon. All right. So in this case, you have saturated hydrocarbon. That means it is full of hydrogen. I think it's called an alkane. And of course, you have unsaturated hydrocarbon. That means you have a double bond. Right? You can still add hydrogen here. So that's your alkane and an alkene. So let's learn the third group today. The third group is called alcohol. Right? You see LLL, alkane, alkene, alcohol. Remember I told you the group thing is called homologous series. All right, so far we have learned 3 groups, 3 homologous series. That means alkane, alkene, and alcohol. All right, so let's look at alcohol. This is something that is, guys, do you know alcohol has a very long history in human? All right, we have been making alcohol since, I don't know, civilization. All right, right. You look at our Mesopotamia history, our what else? Greek history, the Indus Valley history, even our Chinese history. We have been making alcohol for thousands of years. All right. So anyway, let's look at number 1. Alcohol is an organic carbon compound. They contain 3 things, which is carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So alcohol is not actually a hydrocarbon because it has oxygen. All right. So that means CHO lah. CHO lah. All right. Let's go back to form 2. Do you know what has CHO? Do you still remember what's the chapter again? The nutrition chapter. You learn something called carbohydrate, right? Okay, carbohydrate, right? And carbohydrate contains CHO. You might say, hey sir, why are they the same? Why are they the same? So that means carbohydrate and alcohol is the same lah. They are not the same, but they are almost the same. This is why it brings me to my next point. Alcohol is produced through fermentation. Okay, please highlight this word, fermentation. So what is fermentation? This is called 发酵 in Mandarin. Okay, that means you take how do you do this? You use yeast. Okay, you use yeast and you put it on starch or glucose. You see, this is carbohydrate, right? This is carbohydrate, right? So you take any yeast, any glucose, any starch, you put yeast and then you cover it. This is what we call fermentation. All right, I'm sure you know fermentation. They use this to make the fermented beans in Japan. Hello kimchi, they make kimchi using fermentation. All right, so that means you have bacteria growing or something, you know, to break this thing down. All right, so this is a fermentation. So alcohol is made from fermentation. All right, so as long as any starch or glucose or any sugar, any carbohydrate, if you put yeast and you cover them, you will get alcohol. All right, so this is why we have so many alcohol. You see, you can use sugar. All right, what happens when you use grape? You get wine. right? Because sugar is very, grapes are very sweet. They have sugar. So if you put yeast on them, they will start to ferment and you will get wine. So do you know grapes has two color? You have the purple grapes and then you have the white grapes. This is why you have red wine and white wine, right? Because if you use that purple grape, you get red wine. And if you use the white grape, you get white wine, all right? So apples, you will get cider. You know what's your cider? Have you drink Somersby? All right, I mean that's a girl's alcohol lah. All right, so you get cider, you know, apple cider, the Somersby, Strongbow, those are cider lah. And then sugarcane, yes, there are people who use sugarcane to make alcohol. I think that one is the Gao Liang. It's called Gao Liang, if I'm not mistaken lah. Yeah lah, girls alcohol lah, because the alcohol content is really low. Cider is at 3%. All right, and if you use rice, you see, okay, Chinese and Koreans, we are very famous for using rice to make wines. All right, you know, have you drank Korean wine before, rice wine before? Okay, makgeolli. I'm not a big fan of it, okay, but I mean, even Chinese rice wine, I'm not a very big fan of it. They taste weird, all right? So, you know, Huangjiu, the yellow wine you use to make the wine chicken one, the Huangjiu Ji, that thing is rice wine lah. Right? So, and like I said, anything with starch, you will make alcohol. And of course, wheat. Okay, this is what we don't use. Wheat is used by Western people. So if you use wheat to make alcohol, you will get beer. Right? Beer is just fermented wheat. And of course, potato, you will make something called vodka. Okay, they are used by the Russians. Barley, you can get beer too, but usually they just mix wheat and barley, and you will get something called whiskey. I'm a very big fan of alcohol, okay? So I can tell you a lot about alcohol because I used to drink all the time. All right, anyway, so I don't care whether what starch or sugar are you using, as long as there is starch and sugar, you will get fermentation and you will get alcohol. All right, I mean, even the Indians, they will use coconut to make alcohol. They mix an alcohol called toddy lah, but I'm not a very big fan of it. Right? I mean, what else alcohol you can think of? Soju. Okay, soju is also fermented. All right. And of course, you might say, sir, what about those high percent alcohol? What about those Gao Liang? What about whiskey? Okay, how does the cocoa one taste like? I don't know, because you see, I'm not a very big fan of coconut. It kind of tastes like coconut lor, coconut milk lor. You know pina colada? You know what's pina colada? The thing is a cocktail lah. It tastes like that, okay, but like much worse lah. I don't know. Pina colada is also a very girly drink. I mean, if I order it in a bar, I do feel a little gay. Because it's a girl's drink. Okay, anyway, so you have, as long as you have sugar or starch, you will get alcohol. All right, so that's my point. Okay, so please remember this. Please memorize this. This is the equation. All right, so you take any glucose, any sugar, you put yeast. Okay, in yeast, there's an enzyme called zymase. Okay, zymase. You will convert this thing into ethanol and carbon dioxide. All right, so what is ethanol? Ethanol is the alcohol we drink. All right, this is the alcohol found in your hand sanitizer. All right, so before you ask, then sir, can we drink hand sanitizer? Technically you can, but I wouldn't lah, because it will taste freaking horrible. I mean, not that I've tasted before, but you figure it. Okay, you figure it out yourself lah. You see, beer is 6% alcohol. All right, soju is around 19, 17 to 19 lah. And then wine is 16, 15 like that. Whiskey is 40. Have you guys tasted whiskey before? I mean, if your dad drinks whiskey, if you have tasted whiskey before, it's, I don't know lah, for your age, maybe it tastes terrible lah, okay? Because it's very strong, all right? Tequila is 50%. Wow, that thing is a drinking pain thinner, all right? And hand sanitizer is 70, 70, okay? It will taste freaking terrible. All right. And hey, you think the government stupid one? You see, alcohol is very expensive because we have the tax. Okay, Malaysia is a Muslim country. We tax a lot on alcohol. You think some people don't know, man? Wow, since alcohol is so expensive, so then I go and drink hand sanitizer. Lor. One tub of hand sanitizer is only 100 something bucks. Might as well I drink that one. You see, the government is not that stupid. Okay, to stop you from drinking hand sanitizer, they will put some kind of chemicals inside to stop you from drinking it. That chemical is called bittering agent. You know, it's bitter. Bitter is cool, right? Okay, not sweet. So they put some kind of bittering agent in. They already put it in the hand sanitizer so that when you drink it, it tastes freaking horrible. So they don't abuse this thing. Because you see, alcohol abuse is a very real thing. Some people, you know lah. Some people they abuse substance. Okay, some people they use drugs. Some people they are addicted to cigarette. And then you have some people addicted to alcohol. All right. So if the government they don't add some kind of chemicals into hand sanitizer, these people, these alcoholic, they will start stealing everyone's hand sanitizer and start drinking it. That will be freaking horrible, isn't it? So this is why our government, you know, they already put something inside. But if you say, sir, if they really, really want the alcohol, can they drink hand sanitizer? Yeah, you can lah, you can. But I would figure that that thing will taste freaking horrible lah. I mean, you can go and try one or you try and tell me lah. I wouldn't. All right. Anyway, so this is how you make alcohol. Do take note. Okay, notice here, there's no oxygen, right? Can you see there's no oxygen? This is why fermentation, you cannot have any oxygen, right? You have to cover the thing as tight as possible. Because if oxygen came in, this glucose will change into something else, which we don't want, right? We want pure ethanol. So this is why you cover it from oxygen. This is why, okay, have you seen those brewery before? You know, it's a brewery. Brewery is, you know, those company that makes beer lah. Okay, brewery. So every brewery has their own recipe lah. So this is how a brewery look like. Okay, of course this is the modern one lah. So can you see all these metal pots? So they already cover it tightly, so you don't get oxygen inside. So you will get nice alcohol. All right. So last time, when during very very old time, which was a few hundred years ago, this is how they ferment beer. Right? They put it underground. Okay, they put it underground. Why is there Minecraft stuff here? Okay, so they put it underground, and then they will ferment this thing lah. All right, and it takes a while. Okay, it takes a while because for this fermentation to happen, it's a really slow process. That's why you need to wait. Okay, maybe sometimes a few years. So this is fermentation, guys. You need to memorize this thing. Okay, your yeast will change glucose into ethanol and carbon dioxide. Of course, this carbon dioxide will be released lah. Okay, it will be released to the air, and of course, this is what we want, which is ethanol. All right. Don't write alcohol here. Don't write alcohol here. Please write ethanol because ethanol is the alcohol we want. There are hundreds of types of alcohol, but ethanol is the one we want. Okay, because this is the thing we drink. All right. So anyway, moving on. So how do we know fermentation took place? Very easy. Okay. How do we know this reaction took place? We just test for the carbon dioxide lah. Right. Because if carbon dioxide came out, we know fermentation happened. Right? Because this reaction released carbon dioxide, right? So what do? We put it in a conical flask. All right. So you see, when this thing starts to ferment, okay, when this thing starts to ferment, it will make alcohol, right? But here's the thing: alcohol has no color. Alcohol is clear. Your hand sanitizer is clear, right? Your hand sanitizer has no color. So how do you know fermentation happened? You use something called lime water. This is actually in Form 3. This was in Form 3. So what happened? When you have carbon dioxide coming out, when it touches this lime water, it will turn from clear to cloudy. You know what is cloudy? Cloudy means dirty lah. That means this thing will look very dirty. So if it looks dirty, that means there is carbon dioxide. When there is carbon dioxide, that means fermentation took place. So you have alcohol here. Okay, you have alcohol here. Of course, the longer you ferment this thing, the more ethanol you will get, the more carbon dioxide you get, the more cloudy this lime water gets lah. All right, very easy, okay, very very easy to understand. Hang on, okay. Yes, hello Ruth. Is this your first time here? we are. Oh, hi, hello. By the way, we are in 5.3. Okay, so anyway, moving on. Okay, so need memorize this. Okay, very important. Like I told you, this alcohol thing is for sure coming out in SPM. For sure. Every year you look at your past year, you will see alcohol. Because this is one of the most important sub-chapter in your chapter 5. Alright, so anyway, moving on. Let's go to the next part. Okay, how do you purify alcohol? Okay, as you know, okay, when you do this fermentation, the highest percentage you can get is 15%. 15 to 20 lah, 15 to 20. That means if you do fermentation naturally, you take a bucket, you put glucose, and then you put yeast, you cover it, you wait for a few years, the highest alcohol you can get is 15 to 20. You might say, why, sir? Because you see, alcohol is an antiseptic. Remember what is antiseptic? You know, it's antiseptic. Antiseptic is what you use to kill bacteria, right? I mean, come on lah, because of this COVID thing, you have been carrying alcohol around you. So you use alcohol to disinfect everything, right? You see dirty table, dirty whatever, so you use alcohol to wipe everything. So this is an antiseptic, right? And this thing will kill any microorganism. Right, so what happens? When you ferment this thing, as you get more and more and more alcohol, I know it sounds stupid lah, but this alcohol will kill the yeast. All right, the alcohol will kill the yeast. I mean, the yeast is like killing itself because the yeast keeps making ethanol, and the ethanol at the end will kill the yeast. So this is why the highest alcohol you will get naturally by fermentation is only 15 to 20%. All right, so here's the question. You might say, sir, you just now say whiskey is 40, right? 40 something, right? Hand sanitizer is 70, right? So how do you get this? How do you get 70? How do you get 40? This is why you need to do purification. Okay, purification. This process is what we call distillation. Okay, distillation, penyulingan. Okay, in Mandarin it's called 蒸馏. You know, distilled water. You know, distilled water. This is how they get distilled water lah. This is how they get distilled water lah. So what happened is, you cook your, okay, maybe this is only 15% alcohol. So what do you do? What do? You cook this thing to the alcohol's boiling point. Remember, you do distillation here also. There, different temperature, you get different stuff. So it's the same thing lah. So what's the boiling point of alcohol? Boiling point of alcohol is 78. Can you see? All right. If this is only 15% alcohol, if I cook this thing to 78, only alcohol will boil. Right? Only alcohol will come out, right? I mean, there's a little bit of water, but water will mostly stay behind because water's boiling point, water is 100. As long as you don't heat it to 100, you don't really see water coming out. Only alcohol will come out. All right, and then when they pass through this condenser, they will turn into liquid. This is how you get your pure ethanol. All right, pure ethanol. So how do they make whiskey 40%? They do this, distillation. How do they make rum 40 something percent? They do this. How do they make vodka? Vodka is also 40 something percent. They also do this. How do they make what else? Tequila. Okay, tequila is very famous in Mexico. They do this also. How do they make whatever, any high percentage alcohol, rum, gin. There's an alcohol called gin. Okay, rum, gin, whiskey, brandy, whatever lah. This one you go and ask your dad lah. If he drinks a lot, he will tell you. Okay, so this is how they make this pure alcohol. All right, you want this to be 40%, 50%, or maybe 70% like your hand sanitizer. This is how they do it. They do distillation. All right, easy. So don't get confused. This is to test fermentation. This is to purify your alcohol. This, guys, you have learned this in Form 2. This is how you get distilled water, right? If you cook this thing to 100, only water will come out. Water will evaporate, and then water will go into this condenser. You will get pure distilled water. So in this case, it's the same thing. This is how you get pure alcohol. Okay, pure ethanol. Maybe not so pure lah, because, okay, guys, you don't really need 100% alcohol. All right, you might say, sir, why is hand sanitizer only 70? Why don't make it 100? There is no need to, because 70%, you already kill anything you want to kill. COVID is already dead. Whatever bacteria is already dead. So you don't need 100. 100 is like overdoing it. 70 is all it takes. 70 is enough. Okay, it's enough to keep things clean. Right? So this is distillation. Really, really easy. So remember, only cook this thing to 78. Never 100. If you cook this thing to 100, alcohol and water will come out. Then this thing is not pure. It's water and alcohol, which we don't want. All right, so this is your distillation. Right. So next, let's look at physical and chemical properties of alcohol. As we know, alcohol is very easy to see. Okay, how do you know this is alcohol? Right. Number one, alcohol is colorless. Your hand sanitizer is colorless, right? Your hand sanitizer is no color. And then number two, they are liquid at room temperature. Your hand sanitizer is a liquid. Okay, and then it has a distinctive smell. When you smell alcohol, you know it's alcohol. Right? When you smell your hand sanitizer and you smell your beer, you smell your whiskey, they all smell the same. Right? When you drink alcohol, any beer, it has that bitter taste to it. It has that smell, you know. If your dad were to drink alcohol, if you go near something, if you go near someone who drinks a lot of alcohol, their breath smells like alcohol. Right? So that smell, that hand sanitizer smell, there's no running away from it. When you smell alcohol, that's the alcohol. That they all smell the same. So your hand sanitizer, that's why they smell like. When you go for your COVID injection, they put alcohol on your skin, right? It smells the same. Okay, so that's the alcohol. So it has a distinctive smell. These 2 points, you can kind of ignore them. What boiling point increase, blah, 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 no need. Solubility, water decrease, no need. This is all chemistry stuff. You don't need to know. All right. So these are the characteristics. And of course, alcohol is very flammable. All right. This is why we do combustion. Okay, pembakaran. Alcohol burns very easily. Guys, alcohol, they burn even faster than petrol. So don't play with alcohol. I mean, don't put alcohol near fire unless you want an explosion, right? Have you eaten tai cao before? You know what is tai cao? You know, when you go those Chinese restaurant, have you seen those chefs when they cook up? When they cook like that, can you see the flame coming up? Because they put alcohol. Because in Chinese cooking, we put the Shaoxing wine, the Shaoxing jiu. Okay, the Shaoxing wine, when we put that wine, the fire will burn the food and then you have this flame coming up. So alcohol is very flammable. So don't ever put your hand sanitizer somewhere hot. For example, your dashboard. You know what's your dashboard? Some people are stupid enough. You know the car, your car, when they park under the sun, they will put their hand sanitizer on the dashboard, the steering there. So it's directly under the sun. You want your car to catch fire? This is how you do it. Because if alcohol is hot enough, they will just combust. They will catch fire. So don't play. Your hand sanitizer is very flammable. Alcohol is very flammable. Do you know you can use alcohol to make bombs? Do you know what's a Molotov cocktail? Any of you play shooting games? Any of you play shooting games? You know what's a Molotov cocktail? This is how to make a bomb. Very easy. You just use alcohol. You just put alcohol in a bottle, and then you put a piece of cloth inside. Easy. You put a piece of cloth, and then you light fire, and then you throw. This is like the cheapest bomb you can make. Molotov cocktail. They even use this during the Ukraine war. Okay, you know, lately Russian attacked Ukraine, right? This is how they make it because it's cheap, really cheap. As long as you have alcohol, as long as you have hand sanitizer, you can make this bomb, right? So don't do this If you get caught doing this thing, it's a very serious crime because you are causing something called arson. You'll be thrown to jail. All right. So as I said, alcohol is very flammable. Okay. So and they will make this blue flame. Alcohol will create this blue color flame because they burn very nicely. All right. So that's alcohol. Okay. Don't put it near fire. Very, very combustible. All right. Anyway, next one. Please highlight this thing. Very important in exam also. Whenever we talk about alcohol, you will talk about this thing, esterification. All right. So what is this thing? What is esterification? Esterification is a reaction to make ester. Okay, it's a reaction to make ester. Not that ester, as in I know you have a friend called Esther. The one is E-S-T-H-E-R, not that ester, as in E-S-T-E-R. Okay, what is this thing? Ester is your fragrance, perfume. So you see, alcohol can be used to make perfume. So how do you do it? Very easy. You just put your alcohol together with your organic acid. So what is organic acid? For example, ethanoic acid. You might say, sir, what is this? What is ethanoic acid? Ethanoic acid is actually your vinegar. All right. This is okay. What does it mean by organic acid? That means this acid is from a living thing. Organic what? Organic what? That means don't use something like sulfuric acid or hydrochloric acid. Those are non-organic acid. Okay, we are talking about organic acid like your vinegar. So you add alcohol and vinegar. All right, you will get something called ester. Ester is the perfume. All right. Not just perfume fragrance All right. When you eat chewing gum, when you buy chewing gum or candies, there are many flavors, right? There's the orange flavor, the pineapple one, and then strawberry. And then have you noticed this? Sometimes when you eat ice cream, when you eat really cheap ice cream, have you eaten cheap ice cream before? I'm not talking about those inside scoop. Inside scoop, that is expensive one, or Baskin Robbins. No. I'm talking about the cheap Walls ice cream. You know, you get it from supermarket, those like one tub, $7 one, like really big tub and very cheap one. And when you eat the strawberry flavor, it kind of tastes fake. Right? They say it's strawberry, but when you taste that, you're like, okay, this doesn't taste like strawberry at all. It tastes like cough medicine. Have you tasted those cheap ice cream before? Because you see, those cheap ice cream, they don't use real strawberry. They will use perfume. They will use an ester. Why? Because strawberry is very expensive. Hey, hello, one small box of strawberry will cost you like $20-$30. That ice cream, they sell you $7. You think they really put strawberry inside? No, they use perfume, fake flavoring, fake smell. Cheap what? If not, how they sell you $7? Okay, same goes to vanilla. Same goes to vanilla. Okay, if you're interested in food, do you know how vanilla comes from? Vanilla comes from something called vanilla bean. Have you seen a vanilla bean before? Vanilla bean looks like this. Okay, this is the real way of getting vanilla. Do you know how much is this thing? Hey, vanilla bean, you look at the price, are there? One small packet, like 9 grams, they cost you 32 ringgit leh. Okay, they cost you 32 ringgit leh. Play, you thought, so this thing is very, very expensive. So you don't really use this thing okay, because it's really hang on let me someone is coming in now, like seriously, what time is it now? Okay. Okay, must be something wrong Okay, anyway, so as I was saying, wait, guys, give me a few minutes here. 6:50. Oh, okay. I think someone came in at the wrong time. Okay, anyhow, as I was saying, this vanilla bean is really expensive. You don't really use this thing in, I mean, if you buy vanilla ice cream, that thing is $7. They can't be using this. All right. So how do they make that vanilla smell? They use ester They use this ester, fake flavoring. They can put how much they want, and it's really, really cheap. Okay. So all those chewing gum you eat, most of the fruit juice, the cheap fruit juice you drink, those orange flavor strawberry whatever okay, they are all ester. They are all ester. It's fake flavoring. It's fake. All right. You don't really get real one unless your ice cream is 100 something, or okay, maybe not 100 something. Maybe you buy the ice cream is like 20 something per scoop. One scoop 20 something. Then maybe they will use real strawberry. But you slow it they won't be doing this because it's bad business. Okay. So this process is called esterification. Okay, it's esterification. Do you need to memorize this equation? Not really, not really important. You just have to know this is to make ester. All right, and remember, you need to put a few drops of concentrated sulfuric acid. Why? Because this thing is a catalyst. Remember what's a catalyst? You learned this last chapter. Catalyst is something that increase a rate of reaction. Okay, so if you put catalyst in your reaction, it will happen much faster. Heard of this before, right? You learned this in the rate of reaction chapter. So that means if you don't put this concentrated sulfuric acid, is this reaction going to happen? Yes, they will still happen, but it's gonna be really slow, like I don't know, a few hours. But if you put this thing whoa, a few minutes, you can get that perfume smell already. All right, so if you can go home and try this, actually, you can go home and try this. You take some hand sanitizer, which is the alcohol, and you go and steal some of your mom's vinegar, you put it in a cup, and then you heat it. You will smell something very nice. Okay, something very fragrant, 香味, something very nice. So that's the ester lah. Okay, that's the ester you get. All right, that's the ester you get. So in this case, that's the fragrance lah. Easy to understand. Okay, so really not much about alcohol. Okay, this is pretty much what they can do. All right, so let's look at the use of alcohol in daily life. So where do you use alcohol? Number one, alcohol is a fuel. Okay, alcohol is a fuel. It's because I said, right, alcohol can easily burn, right? So alcohol is a very good fuel, highly flammable. Okay, it has clean combustion. So what if you say, sir, one day if we run out of petrol, if we have no more petrol to use, can we use alcohol? Actually, yes, you can. Yes, you can. But here's the thing, alcohol is actually quite expensive. Okay, alcohol is actually quite expensive. This is why we don't really use alcohol as a fuel. I mean, maybe you use it in your lighter fluid. The lighter fluid, sometimes maybe they use alcohol, sometimes it's okay. Because alcohol is really expensive compared to your alcohol, compared to your petrol. Right? So anyway, next is your medicine. They are used as an antiseptic, like I told you just now. Right, disinfectant. If you want to clean your table, you want to clean your wound, you want to clean anything, you use alcohol. Okay. So this cosmetic one, you can just read it for fun, not really important. Industry also not really important. Just read it for fun. Okay, the main thing is fuel and medicine. Okay, so next, moving on, let's go to our excessive alcohol consumption. This part you have already learned it in Form 4, I think. Right, Form 4, there's a part, you know chapter 7, right? The part where you learn about the drug part. Okay, the drug part, where you learn what is your stimulant, what is your depressant, okay, things like that. You really learn this law. So anyway, I'll roughly talk about this lah. So alcohol, as you know, alcohol is a depressant. Okay, alcohol is a depressant. All right. Quick revision. You have 4 types of drugs. You have 4 classes of drugs. Number 1 is stimulant. You learn this in that hormone chapter 7. Go back to your Form 4 chapter 7. And then you have depressant. And then you have hallucinogen. Hallucinogen. And of course, you have something called opiate. So what's the difference? Stimulant is something that makes you awake, makes you happy. For example, your coffee, caffeine is a stimulant. Your cigarette has nicotine. Nicotine is a stimulant. What else? Your cocaine is a stimulant. Those are illegal. Cocaine, methamphetamine, which is called your crystal meth. Those are stimulant. Okay, they make you awake. They make you stimulated. Okay, they make you excited. So that's a stimulant. So on the other hand, the opposite, depressant is something that slows you down. It makes you sleep. For example, your barbiturate, that thing is a sleeping pill. All right. You have something called tranquilizer. And of course, you have alcohol. This is why after drinking alcohol, you feel relaxed. You feel like sleeping. That's a very normal thing. You feel happy. You feel relaxed. That's why people after drinking, they can say all kinds of stupid shit. They will act all kinds. They will just act like monkeys because they relax or they're happy. So depressant. Okay. And of course, your hallucinogen. This is to make you hallucinate. Opiate is a painkiller. Right. Your heroin is here. All right, so alcohol is a depressant. It slows you down. It makes your brain slow down. All right, so that's why it causes all kinds of problems like dangerous driving. If you drive after drinking, you couldn't react. All right, because normal people we drive, we can react if there's a danger. If you drink, your brain becomes so slow, you cannot react. So you cause accident lah. All right, and of course, there's something I want you to take note here. What is fetal alcohol syndrome? If you are pregnant and you drink alcohol, you shouldn't do that. You will get something called fetal alcohol syndrome. That means your baby is poisoned by the alcohol and the baby will be underdeveloped. Okay, the baby will get small head and brain. Okay, the brain is underdeveloped. They will be mentally retarded, abnormal face, and stunted growth. All right, so do not touch alcohol when you're pregnant. I mean, common sense, right? Who would drink alcohol and smoke during pregnancy? I mean, some people they do. Good for them lah. All right. Anyway, so brain, what does it damage? Okay, it damages your brain because it slows your nervous system. Okay, difficulty in estimating distance. So focus on the brain, and of course, the one that is affected the most will be your liver. All right. When you drink a lot of alcohol, your liver will be the one suffering. Why? Because you see, alcohol is a poison. Alcohol is a toxic substance in your body. So who get rid of the toxic substance in your body? That will be your liver. Do you know that? Any drug you take, any medicine you take, let's say you eat Panadol for fun, you eat like 3 Panadol per day, your liver will be the one detoxing it. Your liver will get rid of this Panadol because Panadol is not very good for your body. So same goes to alcohol. So if you keep drinking alcohol, your liver will not be very happy. So first of all, you will get something called fatty liver. It's not mentioned here, but good to let you know. You get something called fatty liver. That means your liver has a lot of fats inside. And if the doctor says you need to stop drinking, and if you don't stop drinking, you will get something called cirrhosis. This is when shit starts to hit the fan because cirrhosis is the hardening of your liver. Usually when you get to this point, it's very hard to go back. Your liver is almost forever damaged. And if you still don't want to stop drinking, you keep drinking and drinking and drinking, you will get something called liver cancer. All right. So, I mean, alcohol is okay to drink sometimes, but do it in moderation. All right. Do it in moderation. I mean, I love drinking, but I will do it maybe. I mean, I don't really drink that much anymore. I mean, when I was young, I used to lah. But maybe a beer or two once a week, it's okay. All right. A little bit of wine every night is okay. But if you drink like 10 beers per day, you know what's gonna happen lah. All right. And this thing, guys, it takes time to develop. You don't get fatty liver after like few months of drinking. No, it takes years. 5 years, 10 years of chronic long-term drinking. You get drunk every day. Maybe in 5 years, you get fatty liver. And cirrhosis if you don't stop. Okay. So anyway, so that's your alcohol consumption. Okay, alcohol. So nothing really much to say here. Okay, so that's it for our alcohol. So the take-home point for today, let me repeat what should you memorize. You should know what is fermentation and the equation. All right, and how do you purify alcohol? We do something called distillation. You have learned this in Form 2. And then what are the characteristics of alcohol? Okay, and then what do? They will do combustion, they will burn, and they will make ester. Okay, you use this to make perfume. The perfume you spray on you, the thing is also ester. All right, the perfume found in your face cream, you know, those hand cream, whatever cosmetic product you use, that's also ester. Anything that smells nice is your ester. All right, and of course, where do we use it in daily life as a fuel and medicine? And what happens when you drink too much of alcohol? All right, like I said, this alcohol is for sure coming out in SPM. Almost guaranteed it will come out in SPM. It could be in paper 1, your objective. It could be in structure question. It could be in essay. So any one of it, right? You see alcohol. All right. Anyway, so let's move on to our exercise. All right. Let's go into our exercise. I'll try to do as many questions as I can with you. Let's go to question 9. Let's go to page 18. All right. Let's go page 18. Question 9. Diagram below shows the apparatus set up to prepare alcohol. All right. So if you see here, it's glucose and yeast. Okay, glucose and yeast. So this thing is fermentation. So you will get carbon dioxide here. You see lime water. You know what's gonna happen lah? They will turn cloudy. They will become dirty if this thing takes place, okay, if there's fermentation. So name the above process. What is this called? This is your fermentation. Okay, if you're taking BM, it's called penyampaian. All right, fermentation, 发酵 fermentation. That's why you see, hey, you have learned yeast in chapter 1, right? You use yeast in making bread, you use yeast in making fermentation. There, right? That's why I say in chapter 1, yeast is the thing you focus, because almost every time you see yeast in exam. So next, B, state what happens to the lime water after a few days. Like I said, it turns cloudy. Okay, turns cloudy. In BM is menjadi keruh. Keruh is 浑浊, 肮脏, dirty. They look very not clear. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Give an inference. What is inference? Inference means explain. Explain your observation. Why does it turn cloudy? Because carbon dioxide is produced. Okay, carbon dioxide dihasilkan. I just write CO2 lah, lazy. So again, inference is to explain what you see. This word I've already explained it like a million times already. All right. So don't ask me again, sir, what is inference? I'm gonna slap you, okay? Maybe not now lah. If before your SPM, like in because your SPM is in February next year, if even in November you ask me, sir, what is inference again? You want me to slap you, okay? Please don't make me slap you, because by November you should be almost pretty prepared for your SPM. No excuse for you to say, oh sir, what is operational definition again? Okay, shame on you. I've mentioned this like a million times, you still don't remember. Okay, so D, what is the function of yeast? What is the yeast for? Okay, this is to decompose glucose. So number 2, not to form glucose, no. The enzyme is called zymase. Oh wait, they're asking in the next question. So name the enzyme released by the yeast. It's called zymase. Okay, zymase. All right, so next, write a word equation. The one I told you to memorize, you have glucose. Okay, arrow, and the arrow up here is zymase. So it will turn into ethanol. Don't write alcohol. Alcohol is too general. Write ethanol plus carbon dioxide. So that is a fermentation. Right, so describe how to obtain purified ethanol. So how do you make them concentrated? So how do you purify something? You do something called distillation. Okay, penyulingan. Distillation. All right, this is how you make whiskey, like I said, because the highest we can go is 15 or 20. I think soju is the highest already. Soju is around 19. Any of you drank soju before? Any of you drink soju before? I'm not a big fan of it. Okay, do you like it? Natalie, do you like it? I don't know, like it burns though. Okay, acidic. I don't know. I don't know lah. They say the best brand is Chamiso. I don't really like it. I mean, even with the Korean barbecue, it kind of tastes. I know it burns down my throat. I don't like it. I mean, whiskey I'm okay lah, but soju is, I don't know. Maybe it's an acquired taste lah. Maybe some people they like it lah. Not for me though. Not for me. Okay. I don't know about you guys lah. At your age, you're like what, 17 this year. Chances are you won't like alcohol. You won't like something very bitter. Any of you like black coffee? Okay, when I was your age, I was like, how can people drink black coffee? Even beer, I cannot accept. Beer is like, yuck, so bitter, so disgusting. But now, different. Okay, black coffee, I drink it daily. So maybe as you age, as you go through 20-something, you start to like beer or alcohol or coffee. Like I said, it's an acquired taste. All right, anyway, so next, number 10. Diagram below shows an experiment to study the effect of temperature on the process of fermentation of glucose and yeast. All right, yeah, talking about temperature. Just now, I did not mention about temperature of fermentation. Right, so very easy. Yeast is just like human. What's your body temperature? 37, right? So yeast, they also like 37. So as you can see here, if I do 37, if I do the water bath at 37, ooh, you see 30 cm of gas collected. That means this guy is very happy. Whereas if you use 17, very cold, you see only 10%, only 10 cm. That means yeast is just like human. They love 37 degrees. Okay, so easy lah, this one. So state one hypothesis that can be made from this experiment. So we can say 37 degrees Celsius is the optimum temperature for fermentation. All right, suhu optimum untuk penyampaian. All right, you might say, sir, can I write the higher the temperature, the higher the volume of gas collected? I don't like the answer because you see, if you go above 37, this thing will go down again. It's like your enzyme. You see, our human body works this way also. 37 is the best. Anything lower or higher, your enzyme don't like it. Your enzyme doesn't like it. So same as yeast. If you use 37, they are the happiest. Anything lower or higher, they are not happy. Your rate will actually go down. So the best is still 37. That's why I choose 37 as the optimum temperature. I use this as my hypothesis. I don't like to say, oh, the higher, because it doesn't apply here. All right, so state the variables. So what will be your MV? What is the thing that you're trying to control? That will be your temperature of your water bath. Okay, I'm just going to write temp here. So what's your responding? What's your RV? That will be your volume. Isi padu. Wow, so simple. When you have a table, like this, for sure one column will be MV, one column will be RV. For sure already. Right? So next, state the operational definition. Wow, we see this fella again. Yay. So how do you write this again? Let me repeat this again, guys. All right. Number one, what's the step number one? You write back what they want. So what do they want? They want the operational definition for fermentation. So you write back, lor. So fermentation is first step. Okay, first step, you write back. Second step, you tell me, is this a process? Is this a factor? Is this an object? Is this a microorganism? What it is? Okay, what is it? So fermentation is a process, right? It's a process because we are doing it. It's happening. So it's a process. It's not a factor. It's not a thing. Okay, so fermentation is a process. All right, so that's the second step. Third step, you write based on your observation, based on your responding. So what's your responding? Your responding is the volume, right? You release a volume of gas, right? Okay, you release volume of gas, right? So what is it? So it's a, oh, sorry, the process, I spelled it wrongly. Okay, it's a process that releases a volume of gas. Right, you see, volume of gas, it's your RV or your observation. So that's it. That's your fermentation. So again, how do you write operational definition? Wow, I think me, Yiqing and Han Yi, we have been repeating for this thing for like a million times already. Okay, number one, you write back what they want. What words do they want? Number two, you tell me whether is it a process, a thing, a factor, or whatever. And then number three, you write it based on what you see. Okay, volume of gas is what we see. So that's what we write. Okay, so next D. Okay, D, take the substance that can replace glucose solution. If I don't want to use glucose, what can I use? So what else has sugar here? Of course, that's going to be your grape. Okay, you cannot use oil. There's no starch in oil. There's no glucose in oil. There's no glucose in milk. You cannot ferment milk. I mean, you can make yogurt from here, but you cannot make wine from here. All right, so next, let's look at 11. Okay, hey guys, let me tell you a little bit news here. Did you know, okay, have you seen the news? The government, our Malaysian government, they kept trying to, they kept saying that they want to ban alcohol. Have you read the news? Because a few years back, there were like cases like, people drink after driving and then they crash into someone, and then people die. All right, they cause like road accidents and this and that, right? And you know, the Muslim the politicians are, especially those Muslim politicians are, they are trying very hard to try to ban alcohol. All right, but do you know it won't happen? Malaysia will never ban alcohol. You know why? Do you know why? Because alcohol, they brought too much tax. Our Malaysia government actually earn a lot from alcohol. Do you know that? Do you know Malaysia alcohol is actually very expensive? All right. So if next time you want to know how expensive alcohol is and how cheap alcohol is, you go Langkawi, you understand. All right, you go Langkawi, you understand. What do I mean? What do I mean? All right, you walk to any 7-Eleven, you walk to any 7-Eleven, you look at Heineken or Carlsberg, the small bottle easily costs you like what, 8, 9, 10 bucks. All right. And if you go to Langkawi, that thing is freaking ridiculous. Why? Because if you look at it, because when you go to Langkawi, when you walk to 7-Eleven, you look at Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is like what, 2.20, 2 ringgit 20 cent. And if you look at Heineken, Heineken is 2 ringgit 10 cent. Heineken is cheaper than Coca-Cola in Langkawi. All right. So you might say, sir, how can it turn from 2 ringgit something to 8 ringgit, 9 ringgit, 10 ringgit in Peninsular Malaysia? Because of tax lah. Hey, you know how much Malaysia charge tax for alcohol? 100% leh. 100%. That means if your alcohol is 70 bucks per bottle, all right, they will charge you 70 bucks for tax, double the price. And then shops still need to earn leh. Because if I'm a shop, if I import the alcohol, I already pay 140 for that bottle. So if I need to mark up some more, I can easily sell 200. Yes, the difference is very big. That's why Malaysia will never ban alcohol, because they brought them too much taxes. Why were they so stupid and cut off their income? Not gonna happen. You see them say, oh, alcohol is bad. We cannot take alcohol. Alcohol is very bad for the society. You see, if we got no alcohol, how do we pay the minister's salary? Won't happen, okay, won't happen. So you enjoy your alcohol in peace, okay? Not gonna ban. So next, 11, fill in the blanks to show the physical properties of alcohol. So color, they are colorless. Okay, the other one, odor is distinctive. Okay, very easy to recognize alcohol. Okay, so state, they are liquid at room temperature. Boiling point around 78. Solubility, they are soluble in water. Right, alcohol is very soluble in water. Okay, what is volatility? They are volatile. What does it mean? Volatile means they will evaporate easily. Right, when you wipe something with alcohol, you just need to wait for a while. The thing is dry. It's not like water. Water will dry very slowly, but alcohol will dry very fast because they're very volatile. Right, they're very volatile. So if you accidentally forgot to close your hand sanitizer, if you leave it open, few days later the thing is gone. The whole bottle will be gone. Not even few days, like one day the thing will be gone. They evaporate very quickly. Right, so B, fill in the blanks to show chemical properties of ethanol. Ethanol burns easily to produce carbon dioxide and water. This is combustion, guys. Combustion, when you burn something, even when you burn petrol, you get carbon dioxide and water. This is in Form 1. Okay, this is in Form 1. Don't tell me you don't know. So color of flame is blue. Name of the reaction is combustion. What kind of stupid question is this? Okay, this is pembakaran. Okay, pembakaran. So next, number 2, ethanol reacts with ethanoic acid to produce an ester. Right? You may say, so what is ethyl ethanol? No need to know lah. This is the ester's name. This process is called esterification. Okay, BM is esterifikasi. Same thing. All right. So this is why, guys, for Muslims, have you smelled those Muslim perfume? All right, your Malay teacher at your school, sometimes when they walk past you, you must say, yeah, why is the perfume so strong one? Because for Muslims, for Islam people, they cannot use our ester. They cannot use our perfume because our perfume got alcohol. You see? Our perfume got alcohol. According to the Quran, according to their Bible, they cannot use alcohol. All right? I don't know lah. Sometimes it's very hard to tell. You might say, then sir, how can they use hand sanitizer? Hand sanitizer got alcohol. This one I don't know. This one I don't know because you see, sometimes it's a gray area. It's a gray area. They say cannot, their Quran say cannot use alcohol, ma. Then if they do injection, if they do vaccination, how can they use the alcohol? Why? I don't know. You see, there's a very big gray area here. Whether something is halal or not halal, it's very hard to tell. Okay. Anyway, so C, name 4 use of alcohol. Like I say lah, they are used as a fuel, they are used in medicine, they are used in cosmetic, they are used in industry. Whatever lah, feel this yourself lah. They won't give you 4 marks like this lah, so easy man. Okay, so anyway, let's look at one more question. Okay, before we go, let's finish this. So ester can be made from alcohol and organic acid. For example, ester ethyl ethanoate can be made through the following reaction. Right, so what's the process called? This is esterification. Same as up there. What is your X? This is your catalyst. That would be your concentrated sulfuric acid. All right, so what is the function? This is a catalyst. What's in BM is called Permankin. What is catalyst again? Catalyst is to increase the rate of reaction. It's like your enzyme in your stomach. Without enzyme, can you digest food? Yes, you can, but it's gonna be very slow, maybe 8 hours. How long do you digest your food? You digest your food in 3 hours, right? Because you have an enzyme. Enzyme is a catalyst. They make your reaction faster. So you digest your food faster. So D, describe how this process is carried out in the lab. Okay, never mind, we skip this. You just put it in the test tube and burn lah, right? Like this. Put it in test tube, burn, end of story. Okay, fine. What kind of question is this? Okay, anyway, so this one, E, I'm gonna skip. Not important. You must say, wow, sir, what is all this alcohol? What is methanol, ethanol? What is ethanoic acid, methanolic acid? All this. No need to know. This is not your question, not your thing. This is chemistry. All right, you know what? I think I'm gonna stop here. Next week we shall go into fats. Okay, we have finished our alcohol today. So this is a very important lesson today. Hope you don't forget. All right, so hope you have a happy Wednesday. I will see you again the same time next week. All right, hope you learned something new today. I will see you again next week. All right, so take care. See you. Bye-bye.